That is the best we need to talk about. Not the best mother, the best this, the best. The best I possibly can. You can't do better than your best, no? Have one and adopt one. And you say that. The other part of it is actually going ahead and doing it. Whatever the child looks like, we are shaking hands on it now and we are adopting. Veer, by the way, he's like suddenly, I don't want a sister, but you're getting one. Let's just take it week by week. People don't even know what an amazing experience it can be because this one has been created by me. And this one I'm getting to mold. The one thing I've learnt as a single parent is to lead. I said, Mom, I want to use the F word. I said, use it. Don't use it outside. Don't use it in school. Don't use it in front of Tara. Say whatever you want in front of me.
Because he found his safe space.
Yes. We are a work in progress. You can be a masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time.
Yeah.
If a movie was made on my life, it would be called...
Welcome to the Full Circle, Mandira. And let's just dive in right now.
Yes.
So my first discussion with you is, what's your biggest lesson from raising kids alone? Single mother.
Yes, single parenthood. I used to be a bit of a control freak and I wanted to be on the top of everything. Even when Raj was there, I wanted to be in control of things. And the one thing I've learned being a single parent, we are in India, our friends are in our lives. Our family is in our lives. Everybody wants to be involved. Everybody wants to do stuff for you. People are extending their hands out for, help. And I would never take the help because I needed to do everything on my own. I wanted to do everything on my own. I perhaps wanted to be even one up on Raj saying, I do everything on my own. And the thing is, now that I am doing everything on my own, I've realized I can't. I'm a working person and my work makes me travel. My work takes a lot of my hours away from me. So the one thing I've learnt as a single parent is to let go of some of that control. Let go. Don't micromanage. There are certain things. My job is such that I don't do it's not a 9 to 5. It's not
conventional.
It's not a Monday to Friday. I could be working Monday, Wednesday, Sunday this week, for example. So Monday, Wednesday, Sunday, I can't do anything. I can't physically be there with my kids. So I have so much support. I have like an army of staff. I've got wonderful people who work for me and with me for, let's say, 15 years, 18 years, who've been around, who've been there with my brother's family, who've been around with me for a long time. So I need to let go of some of that control. I have friends who say to me, you're traveling, we'll come and stay in your house.
Yeah.
They stay in my bedroom.
So that's your safety net. You've built an ecosystem right around your family.
Yes, because I do a lot for my friends. My friends want to find ways of doing back for me and they have extended so much of their time and energy that they're there for me. Yeah. So I've learned how to, as a single parent, outsource, learned how to take that help, learned how to receive.
Yes.
And learned how to let go.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very,
and I
very
think you
important.
don't always have to be best at doing everything all alone. Like, women come under pressure that I want to be the best mother, have a very successful career.
The only best you can do is the best you can do.
For yourself.
The only best you can do, be the best of, no. I am doing the best I can.
Yes.
That's the only best that matters to us. The best I can.
Yeah.
Right? So that is a very important factor. And with any mother, we have to juggle stuff.
Yeah.
We have to juggle stuff to make things work. We have to juggle times. We have to juggle dates. We have to juggle a lot. And that juggle is a struggle for every mother, single or otherwise.
Yeah.
Okay. And we have to find a formula. All right. So for you, your work is normally a Monday to Friday kind of situation. Right? Saturdays, Sundays are yours. But still there could be times when on a Saturday you're working. It could be times when you're not working on a weekday. So you have to find a formula that works for you.
Yeah.
I have to find a formula that works for me. And when you have that formula, and when you take the help from the people that are around you, who are so kindly extending their support, that's the formula.
Acceptance.
Acceptance.
Yes.
Acceptance, letting go, allowing, receiving.
Yeah. Perfect. I think that's also supported you in your personal growth. Like you are
Yes.
doing motherhood and your career is at its peak even now.
Yes.
So I think that's where you have the balance.
Yes, you have to find that balance.
Yeah.
You have to find that. You've got to find everybody has to find a formula to make it work.
Yeah.
You're finding your formula, you're finding your feet, and you're finding your formula. I'm doing the same.
Yeah.
And our formulas are different. And our formula is different from a third person who lives and who travels every day by train for that many hours, is also a good mother, and is also waking up early in the morning and packing that tiffin and doing and making the
Yeah.
day. So everybody has to find that little thing that works for them. And that little thing that works for them changes also over time.
Yes.
Yes, the children's needs are different.
Yeah, even that motherly guilt, like, I didn't get time to go for the pickup, or maybe I'm missing an annual day because I'm shooting somewhere else.
Once
That
I
balance.
became a single parent, let me tell you, that guilt is just disappeared. I probably had more guilt when Raj was there, because then if between us, if both of us couldn't make it for something or the other, work, then we'd have this fight saying, you never make it, and he'd say, you never make it, and whatever. The guilt used to be then.
Yeah.
Now there's no guilt, because you know what? I'm doing the best I can. That is the best we need to talk about. Not the best mother, the best this, the best I
can.
possibly can.
That should work for so many other people too.
But you can't do better than your best, no?
Yeah.
That's all you can do. Do the best you can. And forget about the rest, because you can't do better than this.
Yeah. So I also wanted to ask, you are blessed with Veer and then you decided to adopt. So what changed? I mean, what calling did you get that you wanted to do this? Was it that you were too busy in the career, that you didn't want to have a second biological child, or you really wanted to?
When
take this path?
when you and your significant other are dating and getting to know each other, and you have these conversations. I remember this conversation between Raj and me, and we were talking about it, and we were talking about our values and our what we want from life, etc. And I said, Raj, and that time I was in my 20s, and Raj, I've always wanted to have one and adopt one. And you say that and it sounds really good.
Yeah.
It sounds like, wow, have one, adopt one. It's a good concept, and it makes the other person think, wow, she comes with values and all that. The other part of it is actually going ahead and doing it.
Yeah.
So after Veer was born, firstly, I took very long becoming a parent, because I was so career oriented. It took me a long time to actually, and one fine day it was like, you know what? Biological clock is ticking. I need to have my children. There's no question of me not being a parent. I want to be a parent. So let me get down to it. And we had Veer very, very shortly after I made that decision. We were 13 years into our marriage before Veer came into our lives. And then I loved parenthood. I was like, this is the most amazing thing. The best thing I've done in my life is not any of the, things in my career. The best thing I've done in life is had Veer. And Veer is just, oh my God, I love parenthood. And I did want a second, because a single child it tends to be a lonely child, and we were clear about that. And that's when I said, Raj, remember we talked about have one, adopt one. I still want to have one, adopt one. I still want. So it's okay. Let's get down to it. And he was very on board with me.
And that's so good. It just
and so
process and that support system.
Yeah, but let me tell you, it's not easy. The process of adoption in India is still very hard.
It's yet unorganized.
They make it so hard for you. I guess they want to cover bases because there's a lot of children trafficking and things like that. So, I mean, you are answering the same 50 questions on 5 different forms and in as many different ways as you possibly can. It took us a month and a half to get the paperwork in order. Then we put our papers in when Veer was 6.5 years old. And then he and I again got busy and got caught up. And our focus was Veer. And then the pandemic came. And then I said, Raj, we put our papers in. It's about nearly 3 years and nothing's happened. If we don't do it now, it's going to happen never.
Yeah.
And then we will not have a sister. So then we put our foot on the pedal. What do you say? Put your pedal on the metal or the metal on the pedal, whatever it is, whatever the phase is, to expedite everything and to get things going again. And because, there was a time period that had gone by, we had to redo a couple of our papers again. And we literally resubmitted the forms. And there was something that somebody had said, and I want to tell people who are looking to adopt that when in the form, they ask you for 3 states. I'm saying this to the camera, so whoever's listening, they ask you for 3 states. And you just you tick off three states because they ask you.
Ask you.
But in the finer print, there's a small little box that says anywhere in India. If you say anywhere in India, tick that box, your name goes up really fast.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they're looking for matches.
Those
three
states only.
And that's why that was the
Yeah.
reason for the delay for us as well. So we redid our papers and ticked off
Anywhere in
in
India.
India. And Tara's photograph was in our email box in 1 month.
Yeah.
And Raj and I, we knew that a photograph was coming. We were in touch with the social worker. And we said to ourselves, look, one thing we don't want is a medical issue. If all things are okay medically, whoever or whatever the photograph looks like, whatever the child looks like, we are shaking hands on it now and we are adopting.
Yeah.
Then we got this little picture of this cute little thing with a taulia at the back, an orange and white striped taulia because they put that as a backdrop for her. This naughty little face. And we say it's a good thing they've sent us a cute photograph. But we had decided and made a decision that once all the blood reports and everything come and if she's a healthy child, we are going for it. So Tara comes into our lives, 4-ish year old, ready-made little human being, wearing a plastic hat, one really ugly dress. We've gone and look at Kismat.
In the lockdown.
It happened in lockdown. She came from a small place called Tikamgarh, which is like not connected to. It's like 4 hours away from Jabalpur, 4 hours away from Indore, 4 hours away from Bhopal.
Yeah.
Middle India.
Mm.
Raj went the day before and we took special permission because both parents are supposed to come.
Yeah.
But because it was the thick of the pandemic, Tikamgarh had quite a few cases of COVID. He went the day before. He stayed the night at Jabalpur. Took that 4-hour drive early in the morning, got to the orphanage, did all the paperwork. Once they signed her out of there, she was all prepped. She'd done a couple of video calls with us and the orphanage people had told her, listen, you're going to a lovely home and everything, lucky girl, ye wo. Tara, meeting this one person, big imposing personality Raj had, meets him and he's doing all the paperwork. He's the one saying bye-bye to everyone. She's gone and sat in the car and said, chalo na, ready to go.
How sweet.
It was so sweet. This is what Raj told me. And she was all set.
Yeah.
And look at her kismat, look at her karma. So Raj gives me a call saying, paperwork done. We are leaving from Tikamgarh to go to Jabalpur. We took a private charter, private jet. And Veer, Raj's very close friend, and me, took a flight to Jabalpur. We united at Jabalpur airport. That's why I saw the little girl in the plastic hat.
And she comes home in a private jet.
And we walk into Rama, our home, and the entire staff, which is no less than family to me.
Yes.
I didn't even know this. They did it themselves. They put flowers.
How sweet.
And they did one little aarti to welcome her. And it was so beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, that's one part of it. It was lovely. She didn't talk very much to begin with. All new surroundings for her. Veer, by the way, we put our papers in at age 6. This happens when he's age 9.
Yeah.
He's like, suddenly, I don't want a sister. And I'm like, Raj, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Why are we doing?
I was just going to ask you about the acceptance from Veer.
So at 6, he wanted a sister. It took so long. By the time it all happened so fast. We didn't have enough time to prime him and prep him. See, I don't want a sister. And I'm like, no. I was like, but you're getting one.
Yeah.
It's all too late now, So the whole way to Jabalpur, at Jabalpur airport, tears. I don't want a sister. I don't want a sister. So I'm like, okay, now, what am I doing? Am I doing the right thing? Raj, are we doing the right thing? Then I said, you know what, Veer, let's do it like this. Let's just take it week by week. Today is a Tuesday. I remember I got her on a Tuesday, 28th of July. And I said, Veer, let's take it 1 week at a time. I'm going to ask you next Tuesday how you feel about her.
Yeah.
And then we'll take it from there. He said, will you return her? I said, we won't return her, but let's just take it 1 week at a time and maybe your feelings will change. That's how we took it. And 1 week at a time, and obviously, his feelings changed about her. Now if he walks into a room and she's not there, Where is
Where's
she?
Tara?
Missing her.
Yeah. Now
Like,
their
he
bond
misses-
is very strong.
Now their bond is very strong. It's a proper brother-sister vibe.
Tom
But I
and
must
Jerry.
tell you, on week one, the first week that went by, the Tuesday that I asked him next about how he felt about Tara, he says, this can be best described by a Drake song. It's called God's Plan. The lines are like this. She said, do you love me? I told her only partly. I only love my bed and my mama. I'm sorry. It's like, wow,
Wow,
Veer.
very expressive.
He said this. He said, this is how I feel about her. I only love her partly. And then from partly, it became more. It became more. He also said something very, we all three of us had COVID together. And we were sitting. And she, by that time, become a complete goofball. And she's a crazy one who's always
Yeah.
jumping around. And he looks at me and says, Mama, I don't know whether we can keep this on the podcast, but he looks at me and says, Mama, I think you and I have acquired an exotic pet.
But she's actually very, very active. But I also, now since you have, you're a boy mama and you're a girl mama, you know and you notice the difference in parenting and the approach which you have towards both. Also, there is a major difference because, no, you have accepted them as
I
your
want
own.
to tell you something, one more thing, just before you ask me that question. So, when she'd settled into the house a little bit, there were times Tara would be on my right shoulder and Veer would be on my left shoulder, and I'd be hugging the both of them, listening to some song on Alexa. And I'd say to myself, you know something, I am a very lucky and I'm a very privileged person. There are very few people in this world who get to have a journey, a parenting journey like me, to be a mother of a biological child, to be a mother of an adoptive child.
Yeah.
I am blessed. I am so lucky. People don't even know what an amazing experience it can be, because this one has been created by me. He's my flesh and blood, and this one I'm getting to mold. It's a chance. Like, who's privileged enough to, this is a privilege. And I hope I can inspire some people who have one child to adopt a second, because imagine if there's so many children out there in the system and outside the system who are waiting to be adopted. Imagine if every person who had one child decided, I'm going to adopt the second child. What a difference that could make in the world, in our country, in the world. Have one, adopt one. And what a journey it is, I can't even tell you, because I see my little girl from not understanding that she knows this is a dress, but she didn't even know what the meaning of blue was.
Yeah.
The concepts of color we taught her. The concept of this. There's so many things, and she came with the pandemic. There was no school, so I was teaching her the concept of color. That this is a dress. It can also be blue. This is a painting. It can also be red. So I taught her all these things, and to mold her, and to now see.
She is now a mini version of you. She
and
talks
she
like you, she dresses
me,
like you, she behaves like you.
And you know, there's God's plan.
Yeah.
I looked exactly like this. I had long, thick, curly hair. I was athletic. I was this bundle of extra energy. I'd be doing cartwheels. I was this.
Yeah.
Sometimes I look into her eyes and I feel I can see into her soul, and I see how she's come to me. Yeah. There are times I look at her and I'm just saying she was meant to be mine.
Yeah, she was meant to be. So that was her journey to find you.
I am special, and I am privileged, and I am blessed to have this journey.
Yeah.
And if I could inspire even a few people to do the same, it would be.
Adoption, I think if the system is a little more organized, I come from a medical background, so my parents are gynecologists, they're surgeons. So I know the infertility route which so many people are going through right now. It's very hard to know that because of the lifestyle and the current system, people are not conceiving naturally, but they are going through so many rounds of IVF. Steroids, injection, depression,
surrogacy,
all of that.
All sorts of things. And you know, it's not far from home also, let me tell you. And people don't want to, people say, pata nahi kaise bacha aayega. And my mom and dad said, are you sure? And they said it in a more refined way, but they said, are you sure you want to adopt?
Yeah.
You don't know what kind of child you'd be getting. And I said, whatever child I'm going to be getting, she's going to be mine, and I'm going to give her a good life. Here's the thing. They say, will you be able to treat them as equals? I'm like, you know what? Even if, of course, my attempt will be to treat them as equals, but even if I'm not able to treat them as equals in terms of, here's my flesh and blood and here's a child I've adopted. Even if I don't, I will be giving her a life that is 200 times better than the life she's
Yes.
coming from. So it's a win-win, no?
Yeah, but I think since in India it's a joint family system, acceptance from every member is equally important.
Yes.
Not just you showering that love to the child, but everyone has to
should-
accept.
yes, yes.
So that the person feels welcomed and the person is not, okay, that's our son and she's
know,
not.
I know.
Then that decision is fair for the child.
Yes, yes.
We will give them, there are a lot of families who don't adopt the child and bring the child home, but they take care of the expenses.
Yes, I know.
But then, where are you giving them memories? Where are you giving anything?
No, that's
Though
not.
maybe you're
that's
giving
not
the
adoption.
education. Okay,
that's
at least
not
there
true
is.
adoption.
Yeah.
You're taking care of a child. You're financially taking care of it.
That's it.
You're not bringing up a child. You're not adopting. That's
Yeah.
not called adoption.
And kids do relate to emotions more than giving a toy or a materialistic pleasure.
Yes.
Give time.
Yes.
That bond is
Yes.
more valued than
Yes.
anything you give them.
Yes.
They
Tara's
would-
one of those people. She's one of those kids who really craves my attention, wants my attention, wants from me, wants. And I see Veer is a musician, so Veer is playing his sax or playing the drums or playing something. And at the same time, she wants my attention too. So she starts doing cartwheels.
Yeah.
She wants to be seen. So she's quite a character. And I'm like, it's such a fascinating journey
Yeah.
to see her develop into something like this, something that is so close to us. And I'm trying to instill the same. With Veer, it was very organic. With her, she comes with some stuff of her own, right? So
Yeah.
to bring her into, our fold, it's a little bit more of a challenge, but challenge accepted.
Yes. But she's really blessed. So with that, adoption happened, pandemic happened, but unfortunately, grief hit the family. You had to just pick up from whatever was there. How did Veer and Tara, how did they go through therapy, or how did you manage with your being so shattered and whatever you were going through and balancing parenting that time? How would you?
So, well, for Tara didn't know Raj long enough. Tara knew him for a few months.
Yeah.
So for her, she hadn't really formed such a strong connect.
Yeah.
So she's going to have therapy for sure because she's come with some
Childhood trauma.
She's come with some trauma.
Yeah.
I mean, mine is the third home, right? The home she was born in, then the center, the orphanage she was at, and
Yes.
mine is the third home. She's going to have her, it's not the time now, but when she's ready for it, I'm going to be sending her for therapy. She's going to need it. It's a given. With Veer, he and Raj had a very strong bond, and I used to talk. Whenever he had anything to express, whenever he had anything to say, I said, "I'm your place. I'm your safe place. Talk. Say anything that
Yeah.
you want. Anything you want to about this loss, about how you're feeling. Express it. You want to cry in front of me? Cry." And I'd encourage him to cry. I'm not one of those who say boys don't cry. Cry. And he would cry and he'd feel lighter, and he says, "Yes, Mom, I'm feeling lighter." He also had a narrative about Raj had a heart attack. So he had a narrative about cigarettes, and cigarettes caused it. So he has a very strong anger towards
Yeah.
cigarettes. And he says, "Mama, I want to curse. I want to curse the guy who made cigarettes. Who invented cigarettes? Why did Dad have to smoke? Why did he have to smoke?" So he used to express a lot, and whatever I was equipped to help him with, whatever I could be a bouncing board for, I was. And then there were times where I felt that maybe he needs to speak to someone. So I called a counselor. And counseling for children is different. Counseling for children is a little bit of distraction. They'll talk about this,
Art,
that, and the other. They may cry, they may not. They may express, they may not. So he did a couple of sessions. He did therapy. He needed it. And wherever I could be there for him, I was there for him. Wherever the counselor was needed, I used to keep telling, and he's actually very aware of his emotions. He'd say, "Mom, I'm feeling some sadness around Dad." I said, "Would you like me to call Auntie?" And he said, "Yes, I'd like to speak to her." And we scheduled a
Because
session.
he found his safe space.
Yes, I must say, I'm a solid safe space for him.
Yeah.
So when he wanted to express about what he thought about cigarettes, I said, "I'm your safe space. Say whatever you want. There's nothing off limits over here."
Yeah.
So he said, "Mom, I want to use the F word." I said, "Use it." Don't use it outside. Don't use it in school. Don't use it in front of Tara. Say whatever you want in front of me. So use the F word, he says. F the guy who invented smoking. F cigarettes. F this. F that. F, and it was all connected to that narrative.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, does that make you feel better? Are you feeling like? He said, I'm feeling lighter. And he cried a little bit also. And I said, see, use it here, use it in front of me, use it in this context. But later on in life, everybody curses. Everybody uses the F word. As a child, it does not sound nice.
Yeah.
So don't do it outside. Don't ever do it in front of Tara. And don't do it in school because it's not nice. Young people using it. So he said, okay. And he uses that safe space with me. And he doesn't do it anymore.
So good. He won't keep any secrets from you.
He keeps no secrets from me. He tells me sometimes too much, overshares, which I'm like, okay.
The reason why
there's no such thing as oversharing with your kids. The channel of communication should
be
always
open. Yeah.
He talks to me about everything. And that time I have with him at night before he sleeps, I lie down on the bed with him and he blab on about a whole lot of things. Some things are very valuable, which I hold on to, and then we talk about that a little bit more. The rest of the stuff, he'll be telling me about, and then it's in C sharp and B flat and E major, and I don't know what any of these mean. And I'm like, oh, nice. Speak to Satya Chachu about it because he'll probably...
But you're yet supporting his decision, though you don't have any domain.
I support his decision because he is gifted with music. Yeah. And I must support his decision. And even though I know nothing about music, I will open every single door I possibly can for him because he is a musician. He is gifted. He plays 4 instruments. He started to learn his 5th instrument and he's pitch perfect and he's self-taught with the saxophone. So I would be doing him a huge disservice if I was not supporting his music.
And not respecting his talent.
Yes. So that I do. And I know I need to find that thing for Tara. Because Veer has his thing. I'm not finding it. I'm letting her experience many things.
She's exploring so many things now and she will get the hook.
She needs to find that thing that she can call her own.
Yeah.
That she's going to be good at. So it's going to happen.
Yeah. So Mandira, what's your vision of life coming full circle?
I am a believer in, always being a work in progress. I think all of us are a work in progress. There's always so much to learn. And we come full circle many times in many different aspects of our lives. So this journey is over, you've come full circle. That journey is over, you come full circle. But you're always embarking on something new. You're always embarking on a new journey. And I'm always learning.
Learning and unlearning.
Learning and unlearning. That's right. There's so much unlearning to be done. Even since we're talking so much about parenthood, I look at my upbringing, which I'm very grateful for, but there are many things that I've unlearned from there and done very, very consciously differently with my children. Yeah, so unlearning is very, very important. It's a beautiful point you brought up. So you're learning and unlearning. I believe you come full circle in many, many little ways. I mean, eventually you come full circle when your journey of this lifetime ends.
Yeah.
That's the big full circle. But along the way, there are many, many times you come full circle and you start another one. And you embark on the next one. You embark on the next one. So I just think that we are a work in progress. You can be a masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time.
Yeah.
Remember that. And even there's so much to learn. And when I did the podcast with Satya, I told him that if a movie was made on my life, it would be called The Student because I'm constantly learning.
Yeah.
And I don't think that journey of learning will ever end. And so if you're constantly learning and your doors are open, your mind is open, then you never come full circle. You come full circle when you
end the journey.
When you end the journey.
So beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.